Hey everybody, Hank Johnson's here doing a Roller Coaster Tycoon tutorial video. This video is going to be for Forest Frontiers, the very first park. Deep in the forest, build a thriving theme park in a large cleared area. So this is Forest Frontiers. The objective is to have at least 250 guests in your park at the end of October year 1. With a park rating of at least 600. So they start you off with the park closed and the admission free. So that kind of leaves it open to you as to what price you want to charge for your admission and when you want to open the park. If we open that tab again, which is this one right here, you can also look at what land is available for purchase. And this park, for a 1-year park, you're not going to need any more than what they give you, but if you were interested in it, there is the little expansion area you can buy with some scenery and a little bit of a pond that you could maybe put a boat ride in. But I'm not going to be going there because I don't think it's necessary to complete this particular scenario. So before I open the park though, I'm gonna add a few things. I'm gonna extend the path out a little bit, and then I'm gonna use this to make a small loop here. And then the reason for this is so that it'll be easier to connect rides to the path, and it'll also allow me to fit more rides in a smaller area. The latter would be to try and just have one path going straight outward and then just having a big tangled mess of paths coming to and from the rides out on the edges here, and you'll end up having little paths coming out like this, and things coming into those paths as well, so it just turns into a big mess. And I find that it's a lot easier to create your own little pathing system first that includes plenty of path, and then connecting up multiple things to what you've made. So I'm gonna go ahead and put up a haunted house, and we'll throw it here in the corner with the trees. And this is one trick that I do. In order to get people to stay in my park, I put the entrances closer to the park entrance, and the exits are always facing out and away towards the rest of my park. And what that'll do is it'll allow when the guests come in, they'll exit and they'll immediately go and see other rides. Whereas if it were the other way around and the entrance was here and the exit was here, they would enter from this area of the park and exit closer to the entrance, which means they're not going to see as many rides when they get off. Another thing that I'm going to do for pretty much all my rides, I always set the inspection time to 10 minutes, and then I get rid of this minimum waiting time, and I set this maximum waiting time down to 30 seconds. And that's just kind of a safety net in case I make the queue length too long. If I put a maximum waiting time, then even if it doesn't get to a full load, it'll just start after 30 seconds, and that way after the ride's complete, it'll just start taking more people. If your guests wait in line for too long, they'll start becoming unhappy, and if your guests are unhappy, then they'll leave the park and they won't spend money and all that, so you want to keep your guests happy. So I have one ride open at this point, so I'm going to go ahead and open my park, and I'm going to start with an admission price of $5, and I'm just going to wait until I build a roller coaster to increase that price. So we'll build another gentle ride. One of the really frustrating things you'll find about this game is the camera angles are sometimes pretty difficult. Um, so there's not really much you can do about it. You just kind of gotta practice and get used to it. So we'll go ahead and open this merry-go-round too, and I'm gonna charge $1 for it and hope people ride it. For a merry-go-round, I always set the number of rotations to the minimum, and same thing as always, 10-minute inspection time, and the maximum wait time I make 30 seconds. And although you can't hear the music because I'm recording the microphone, leave the play music checked. If you play music, it'll keep guests happy as well, so that's a cheap way of doing that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and close all that out, and yeah, no guests in the park yet. Park rating is still totally tanked because I don't really have any guests in the park, and the park rating kind of depends on what your guests think of your park. So I'm gonna go ahead and just keep building rides until we get someone. We'll go with a thrilling ride now. Um, so I'm gonna put it right up to the path right here, and same thing as always. I'm gonna put the entrance there and the exit there, so the exit is facing the rest of the park. And for the swing ship, I'm just gonna make a slightly longer queue, and that way, since it's an intense ride and might be a little bit more popular, I can have a few more people in line. Go ahead and open it, and I'm gonna set it to $1. I'm gonna set it to the minimum number of swings and 10-minute inspection, same thing as always. The reason for the merry-go-round and the swing ship that I set to the minimum ride length is because the shorter that the ride is, the more guests can get on the ride. And eventually, I'm going to drive this price down, and guests won't be spending very much money, and they'll be continuously riding rides, and that's kind of what you want to do. So, right now, I don't have any food in my park, so right at the entrance here, I'm going to go ahead and add a little food court. And I don't like these lamps, so I'm going to slowly just kind of get rid of them by adding food stalls. I don't think the lamps do anything, because I think technically your park opens and closes just during daylight hours. The lamps kind of seem just useless. Plus, I also think that these lamps are very ugly, so I just get rid of them. I think they're pretty stupid, so I'm going to leave space up here for souvenirs and information kiosk if I get to them, and the spot that I didn't put here that's kind of closer to the park, I'm going to put the bathroom. Actually, I'm going to put the bathroom here, and then this lamp right here I'll take out when I get another shops and stalls that's food or something. And that way I'll kind of get rid of all the lamps, and that'll be really nice, because I don't like them. So, and they give you some scenery here too. These little, I don't know what you call them. I think they're in like this one at the end. Yeah, like they're like these little guys or something. But yeah, I typically don't really put that much scenery into my park unless it's like a really plain, flat place like this with nothing on it. And then after I build some rides, I'll add trees or whatever kind of fits the area. So I'll just kind of wait to do that until I've built some more rides. And right now my cursors were kind of glitching out for a second. But I'm going to build a roller coaster.